Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class. I welcome you to English grade 8 video lessons. This is your instructor Zia Hamid. I hope that you're doing well and enjoying good health. As you know that we are beginning our lessons from unit 1 of grade 8. Let's see that we have unit number 1, role models. And the competency that we are dealing with is of grammar. This is our lecture 2A with the topic correct usage of articles. So let's begin by reading our students' learning outcome and then break down to understand it further. It says, apply the rules and correct usage of articles through reading, speech and writing. So it's self-explanatory, it's very simple. We have to correctly use the articles, read and understand how the articles work, the rules, and obviously we will see it in both our written and in our speech. So now here is a vertical linkage of our SLO with the previous grade that we have already studied. You are very much familiar with articles A, an and the, how they are categorized in two categories, so on and so forth. So let's begin our lesson. Let's do an interesting brainstorming activity. It says, talk to your classmate about anything and notice how many times you use articles. You can select any topic or you can keep a notebook with you. See how many times you use the articles like a, an and the, and did you use at the right place? So I hope that you pause the video and do this activity as soon as possible so that we can move forward. So let's begin our topic, articles. Let's read the definition. An article is basically a word that identifies the noun or noun phrase that comes after it as being either general or specific. So in these both conditions, in general and in specific, we use some words which will identify our noun or any noun phrase. So this was the definition of an article. Now let's see that there are two kinds of articles. They are basically two categories. One is definite and the other one is indefinite. So definite articles, let's begin with this, refer to a specific noun using the, while indefinite articles are used when a noun is not specific. So with indefinite nouns we use articles like a or an, depends upon whether it's a vowel or a consonant. Now let's talk about definite articles. So the here is called the definite article because it normally points out some particular person or thing. As, let's take for example, he saw the therapist, meaning some particular therapist. When we use the here, we know that we are talking about something in specific, in particular. So when we say that he saw the therapist, maybe he's already frequented that therapist many times, or the therapist specifically has been already mentioned. So that's why we use this definite article. So whenever you see this article here, you can assume that it's about a specific person or a thing. Now the definite article is used before singular countable nouns, plural countable nouns and uncountable nouns. For example, the pen, the books, the water, you can see that it's used with a singular, a plural and also an uncountable or countable noun. So a definite article refers to specific nouns. The definite article can be used with singular, plural or uncountable nouns. For example, the pie I ate yesterday was sweet. The pen on the table is mine. So the pie, the pen, we know that it's referred to something specific. When a person says that the pie I ate yesterday was sweet, he is talking about that pie that he ate yesterday. He is referring to that, he or she is referring to that one. So that's why we used a definite article. Same goes with the example of pen. Now my dear learners, let's talk about indefinite articles. The word an when precedes a word that begins with a vowel. So that's when we use an. For example, an umbrella, an image. So now the word a when it precedes a word that begins with a consonant. So the rules are very much clear about using a and an in the right place. Now class, indefinite articles, let's see some examples. An image, an enemy, an ink pad, an orange, an umbrella, an hour, an honest man, an heir. So all these are using indefinite articles, and specifically an because they are beginning with a vowel. Even here in the example of heir, we know that h is silent, it's giving the sound of a vowel, so that's why we used an before it. It will be noticed that the word hour, honest, heir begin with a vowel sound as the initial consonant. H is not pronounced. Now before a word beginning with a consonant sound, a is used as, let's see some examples, a boy, a reindeer, and all these other examples. We know that b is a consonant, r is a consonant, w is a consonant, so on and so forth. So that's when we use our a. Now when we talk about a particular person or thing or one already referred to, that is when it is clear from the context which one already referred to. That is when it is clear. So let's see some examples. Newspaper you want is out of print. So let's see which newspaper, any newspaper or something specific, some newspaper of a specific media company or a specific date or the one you borrowed. So we don't know. So the context will tell us that if the article used here is right or not. For example, let's go to the mall, the park in this, go to the mall and the park in this mall we are talking about. The boys shouted. Here the boy, which boy? The boy already talked about in the context. If you see the whole context of anything written or if anything that is being conveyed to you orally, you will know that if the article is used correctly or not. Now when we talk about a particular person or thing or one already referred to, that is when it is clear from the context which one already referred to. That is when it is clear from the consonant which one we mean. The book you want is out of print. Which book? And these other examples. So now definite articles, when a singular noun is meant to represent a whole class. For example, the rabbit is a cute animal. So we are representing the whole class of rabbits. So that's why we are using the before rabbit. Or we may say rabbits are cute animals. We do not use any articles. The horse is a noble animal. The cat loves comfort. So you can see that we are using definite articles at the very first. Now we have another rule. Before some proper names like these kinds of places or names, oceans and seas or rivers, canals, deserts, groups of islands, mountain ranges, a very few names of countries. So we will use the definite article the with these things that are mentioned. So we also use it before the names of certain books as the Quran, the Puranas and so forth. We will use it before names of unique of their kind as the sun and the sky and other examples, and before a proper noun when it is qualified by an adjective or a defining adjectival clause as the great Caesar, the immortal Shakespeare. So when it comes with an adjective only, then also we can use the article, the definite article the. Now with We use it with superlatives also. For example, the superlative degree of tall is tallest, so we will say he is the tallest among the whole class. So that's when we use the. With ordinals, as he was the first to arrive. So here we also use the before musical instruments. He can play the flute, the piano, the sitar or whatever before an adjective when the noun is understood as the poor are always with us. So we are representing a class, the adjective. So now next one is we use the definite article the before a noun with emphasis to give the force of a superlative, as the verb is the word, the chief word in a sentence. So these are some examples and demonstration of how and when to use the definite article the. Next we have to use it as an adverb with comparatives, as the more the merrier. You can see that we used the definite articles. Now my dear learners, let's talk about when we are not using any articles in our speech, while we are reading something, we can identify it whether it's being used correctly or not, and in our written and oral communication. So here we have some rules. The article is omitted when number 1 is before names of substances and abstract nouns. For example, some uncountable nouns used in a general sense, like sugar is bad for your teeth. You can see that we did not use any kind of article here. Gold is a precious metal, because of the rule that we are following, that substances and abstract nouns we will not use the articles. Next one is we will not use it before plural countable nouns used in a general sense, as children like chocolates, computers are used in many offices. So here we did not use any article as well. Then we have the rule number 3, which is before most proper nouns except those referred to an earlier, namely names of people. For example, Ali, Rahim, we will not use any article before the name. For example, you cannot say the Ali visits me today. So now next we have like before names of meals, such as what time do you have lunch, not the lunch or a lunch. Next we have rule number 5, which is using no articles before languages, such as we are studying English, so no article is used. They speak Punjabi at home. Number 6 is before school, college, university or any other institutes, we do not use it. Next we have before names of relations like father, mother and other relations. Next we have rule number 8, we do not use articles before predicative nouns denoting a unique position, that is a position that is normally held at one time by one person only, as he was elected chairman of the board, not he was elected as the chairman of the board. Next we have rule number 9, in certain phrases consisting of a transitive verb followed by its object, as to catch fire, to take breath. So here we are not also using any article. Now moving on to our we can read some examples here. Moving on to our simulation video. I hope that you have grasped the rules. You can re-watch the video, write down the rules to memorize them effectively. By using this simulation video, you will be able to understand more about articles and their usage. Next we have our classroom activity. You will work in pairs and tell an incident from life of Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to each other. Emphasize the use of articles while telling the incident. So this will help you practice your skills of using articles in the right time, in the right place. We have a worksheet for you. Now let's talk about the homework. The homework is write a short paragraph about a beautiful memory of your family get together. So when you will write this paragraph, keep in mind that you are using the articles a and the effectively in the right place. My dear learners, at the end we have some resources like worksheet, presentation, your lesson plan, a skill sheet, and all these resources are available in the description of the video. I hope that you have learned that how we can use articles. There are different kinds of articles we learned. We learned the rules of using both of them and also the rules for not using them. So now I will see you in the next video lesson. Allah Hafiz.